Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast. My name is Julio, and I'm joined today by some friends and fellow Inter Miami fans, Dave, Chris, and Jose. And on behalf of the guys, we want to thank you for joining us for episode 7 here on the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. For those of you watching on YouTube, thanks for stopping by, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoy the show. Today, we'll be taking a look at the upcoming U.S. Open semifinal match against FC Cincinnati. But before we get into that, how is everybody feeling coming off the back of the Leagues Cup Championship?
I'll start
Still
it off.
feeling.
I'll
Oh, go
start it
ahead.
off.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I feel pretty nice. I won't say I've come down yet. I still feel really good about it. Feel like we could take on the world at this point. I feel like this tournament was like the best shot we were gonna get from anybody, because this whole tournament was kind of Miami figuring out how they're gonna play and their best lineups and things like that. And we still, I don't think, have seen their best lineup, but I think that this has been a great learning experience, and it's great because we have such a long road ahead of us in the MLS standings. So this tournament was a godsend. It got us kind of getting the gears lubricated, and now it's time to slip on up to the top.
Yeah, I'm still feeling great after that win. I mean, it was almost like a hangover yesterday. We were so excited that night. We were celebrating the nerves, all that stuff, and yesterday it felt like almost a blur, So still super happy, ready to go on to the next one. Like David said, this tournament was a godsend. I think it helped to create this connection with this team that they really needed to go into the rest of the league season. So we'll see what happens, but we're feeling really good, feeling unstoppable, and cocky Miami fans are coming out here.
Yeah, we're feeling extremely arrogant, extremely excited. We're facing this team now that, again, is the hardest thing we've ever faced. It's one of those things that it is true, it is real. The hype is real for Cincinnati. That from all the highlights that we watched, they're going to be our toughest match. They should be. They've been on a little skid. Can't relate. We can't relate to that, but it's going to be something that we have to watch. Is it going to continue? Are they going to continue to be off form? They were looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to it too.
I like how, completely by coincidence, Chris, you mentioned cocky Miami fans, and then immediately we cut to Jose. I don't think that could have come out any better.
It was meant to be.
Miami fans are coming out. Boom. I don't care.
Speaking of one,
that's right. I have to say I relate so much with feeling hungover after that win. That was such a late night between watching that game, go all the way to penalties, go as far into penalties as humanly possible, basically. Then recording the show, which was so much fun afterwards. We didn't get to bed until so late. And at my young, spry age of 33, I still felt like I got hit by a train all day on Sunday. And it was miserable, but it was so worth it. It was so great. Absolutely buzzing that we're in this position where we're the best, and good luck beating us. So with that being said, let's take a look at our next match, our next victim.
ESPN rankings. I'm tired of the ESPN rankings. They keep putting the power rankings with us at 9 and 10. They put the other day Orlando at 10. I'm tired of it. We're not 11. We're not 10. We're not 8. We're not 8. We're not 6. We're 1. Get over it. And we're going to prove it on Wednesday, and we're going to see what happens.
Coming soon, the Heron Heads official power rankings, written and edited by Jose.
I'll do it.
Oh boy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inter Miami.
Hold on to your butts.
So let's look ahead at this semifinals match against Cincinnati. Cincinnati played last night, Sunday evening, against Columbus in what is their biggest rivalry, and they got smoked 3-0. The word on the street is that they were looking ahead towards the Miami game. I don't know how true that is, but now that we are the team to beat, everyone wants to be the first team to beat us. I don't deny that they were maybe looking ahead, but Cincinnati's been good all year. There's no way around it. They're really good at home, but where have we heard that before? We heard it in Philly. We heard it in Nashville. I'm really looking forward to every match. I'm looking forward to now because it's just so much fun watching our team play. And to Wednesday night's no different. So as we've done in the past, I want to go through the keys to the game. Dave, go ahead. Do you see me like you have
No,
something you
no,
want to say?
I was gonna say something, but it makes sense to bring it up later. It's yeah.
No, by all means.
No, because
I'm just kidding. So keys to the game for Miami. I think generally speaking, the formula for success is possession. Diving into what Cincinnati does, it seems like they, similarly to Nashville, are comfortable playing without the ball. They seem very comfortable in defense. They have a very sound system, and they can score in bunches too. They have a stout defense, and they have no problem breaking in counterattacks. They have no problem also in possession, for that matter. Luciano Costa is very dangerous. They have Aaron Salem Bupenza, who, from everything we've seen, looks very dangerous in and around the penalty area. He seems to have a rocket of a boot. So I'm interested to see what we do. If we don't have possession, we saw towards the end of the game against Nashville, things got kind of nervy, a little stressful. I think the guys are really tired from this tournament, so it'll be interesting to see if we have any lineup changes, which personally I don't think there will be. But yeah, I mean, it's always fun. I think if we hold possession, I don't think we can be beat right now. So what do you guys think? Keys to the game?
I think an early goal for us to neutralize the crowd is essential, and people always talk about it because we do it pretty often. But this team is 11-1, 11-1-0 in the MLS. That's a team you don't want to wait on
At home.
Yeah, while they're at home. You know, in general, they're a good team regardless of, but definitely when they play at home, they're way better. Like you spoke about Acosta, I think Miami needs to kind of mark him somehow. You know, he's the second leading scorer in MLS. You know, it's one of those things where we can't let him be just you know, just having a great time out there. He needs to feel us a little bit.
Yes. Speaking of having a great time, I hope there's no hangover from our win this weekend by the team. So hopefully they come back better than ever. I think this team is very similar to Nashville in that they have a lot of top units, just as Nashville did. Their attack is very strong. They have the second highest scorer in the league. They have a very good defense, just like Nashville had. So it's a lot of similarities that we see when we're watching these highlights and doing some study on the team. So I'm interested to see if we play like we played against Nashville, how is the rest of the team going to do? So I guess what I'm trying to say is that my key point is who else is going to step up on Wednesday besides Messi? Messi had our only goal, right? Who else is going to step up? Who's going to help him out and try to get through that defense and get that goal that we desperately need just to make it to the top? You know, we were used to scoring 3-4 goals a match, and now all of a sudden we just scored one. Someone, you know, we met our match defensively. So I'm interested to see if any of the young guys step up. Does Martinez step up on like he did last game, which I was hoping for? Does Taylor have a bounce back game? He had a very cold game last time, so he's been very hot and cold. Maybe this is his hot game. So I want to see the other guys step up and go from there.
I want to know how Tata treats this tournament. I think that the last tournament was his playground to kind of ease the guys into what he wants to do, figure out how he wants to use players. Now, I think the next step for him is he wants to win the MLS. He wants to leave his mark. He wants to get into the playoffs. How serious is he going to take this tournament? Is he going to use this game to rest some guys who are coming off that long stretch? Remember, he used a lot of the same players in every single game. Does he try to just insert some of the new talent in to just see what he has there and kind of throw his hands up and say, hey, this tournament doesn't mean as much. We got our first piece of hardware. Let's see what we have. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, whatever, we can kind of work it out in the MLS. We don't want to lose those MLS matches. So I'm curious to see if he kind of uses this game as an experiment, or if he continues with the same core group that we saw all Leagues Cup tournament.
So I would think that looks at this tournament as a more realistic opportunity for more hardware this season by virtue of it being a semifinal already. Whereas in the MLS, by the math, we have an outside chance of making it. Granted, we have the best player in the world, but right now we need to win a game to get to the final. I think he rolls out with the same lineup that we've had all Leagues Cup pretty much. And I think he goes for it. The players are fatigued. Tata said earlier today, that he was asked about Messi maybe resting. And his response was, Messi hasn't mentioned to me anything about resting. So as long as he doesn't mention it, I'm going to keep playing him. So I think he rolls out the same players. I think the goal in any competition is hardware. And we're 2 results removed from more hardware. And if we start Messi's tenure within the span of a month and a half, 2 months, with 2 trophies in our cabinet where we had 0 before, I think it sets a huge precedent. And it also gives confidence to everyone to see out the season. And out of nowhere, we're talking about a treble. It's wild. So yeah, I think they look at this as a very important fixture, not a place to try out new things. I do agree with you, Chris. This is very similar to Nashville as far as Luciano Acosta being like their strong attacker. They have a good defense, and similarly to how we treated Mukhtar, Acosta is the trigger man. He can score goals and he can create goals. And we need to do a similar job that we did with Mukhtar, who, yes, he had his moments against us, but overall, he was generally locked down. I mean, you can only do so much, but I think we did a good job, and I think that's how we need to attack this game. But certainly think we're going to roll out as strong a team as we can based on fitness, and we'll treat it similarly to how we treated the Nashville game.
And you both have said that about Nashville. The only thing is that where I do think they're like a strong unit similar to Nashville, where defensively they're stout, right? I still think Nashville may have been a little bit more stout than Cincinnati. The only thing that I remember when I was watching the highlights and stuff is that this team doesn't necessarily go ahead and try and pull the trigger on long bombs that as Nashville was trying to consciously do, right? With Schaffelberg on the left side, Mukhtar just constantly trying to jump up the field. This team, which is why they're so good, they do a lot of short passing. So it's a very good build-up constantly. I don't know if we're gonna notice how I haven't said possession. I don't know if we're gonna be able to take possession from these guys, because they're also trying to play the same type of game, right? They're trying to have a great shot, great opportunity. They're trying to get in the box like we're trying to get in the box. It's not something that that's like Nashville, where they're I feel like they're just trying to jump ahead. I agree with Julio on we have to win this cup because we don't know if we're going to get into the playoffs. We have no idea. As good as we are, as good as we've been, things can happen. People can get hurt.
You don't sound cocky, and I don't like it.
No, I expect us to win, but
I don't like it.
And the MLS, like,
Be
we have
cocky.
to win, 11 out of 14 games.
You're in or you're out. Are you in?
I hear you, but
Check
you
your
know what?
pulse.
If we're gonna start putting Arias in and the young guys, when we do it, and when we play NYCFC, where I'm predicting a 7-2 blowout.
Hey, save that for that episode. What are you doing?
Yeah, to that point, I think there's plenty of opportunities in the MLS season to tinker and to try things out.
The one more thing that I wanted to rehash, Jose said it. Getting on top early is very important. Like Nashville, so that crowd in Nashville was pretty intense. I expect it to be just as intense, if not more intense, in Cincinnati. They have a brand new stadium. I think that might be one of the best stadiums in the MLS. It's really, really nice. That crowd can get going. I like the football team in Cincinnati. I'm a big Bengals fan, and I know that fan base, they get behind their teams quite well. So if they get, God forbid, that Cincinnati gets on top of us, I think that crowd's going to be unbearable. Not that it's going to be insurmountable, but I'd rather not have to deal with that. So a quick goal, or maybe even go up 2, and that's it. We don't have to worry about at least that aspect of the game.
Yeah, that was huge. That was huge against Philly, right? Like that crowd.
Oh,
they came out so rowdy, and all the talk that week was how, don't sell your tickets. We need this to be the Philly crowd. I'm sure it's the same.
Please.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the same in Cincinnati. And as we continue to win, it's just going to be like that everywhere, right? Like, because everyone wants to be the first ones to shut us up, quote unquote, right? But no one's been able to do it yet. I think we win this game. I think we win every game, right? So, you want cocky Miami fan?
Jose's not certain. Jose's concerned.
No, we're winning this. We're winning this match.
That's what I'm not concerned with.
There's no doubt.
I think there's a slip up game. That's the only way we lose. Similar to how Cincinnati just lost now. It's going to be a game where we're like maybe looking ahead, overlooking.
The thing is, who are we looking ahead toward? We're.
Correct.
I think that we're
Correct.
at this level that we're looking at everyone the same. We're like everybody.
Well, we know
Messi's looking around. He's like, everybody's a bunch of scrubs. They want to kick everyone's butt. So I don't see them looking ahead. Also, I think not Messi, not Busquets, not Alba. Everybody is trying to prove themselves every match. So I don't see us doing the look ahead thing. I think the non-established players are trying to establish themselves and not look dumb in front of the big three. And I think the big three just want to kick everyone's butt.
I also want to say that by virtue, again, of being so close to hardware, everyone's very focused and understanding that this is another opportunity to get hardware where everyone wrote us off before the arrival of the big three. And, this is another chance to just shut everybody up. And we also know that because we're in last place in the league, every league game is going to be so critical. It's not like we're in a safe playoff spot and just kind of jockeying for position, but we need every point that we can get. So yeah, I think all these players are going to be really motivated to go. They want to keep proving that it's not just Messi. It's all these. It's Kremaski. It's Taylor. It's Joseph Martinez. Who, we're writing him off. Okay, prove us wrong. Do something. Kristoff, Kamal Miller, like all these other players want to prove themselves. So yeah, I think it's gonna be critical, but I think we win this game, and I don't think it's particularly close.
We'll save that for
more on that later.
Jesus.
So all right, so back to the game before we jump into predictions, but back into the game, who from our side, from the Inter Miami side, who are we looking towards to having a big impact outside of big three?
So remember when you talked earlier about how well we played Mukhtar? I believe the reason why we played him so well is because we had guys like Arroyo that were on him. They were on him like white on rice, and it was one of those things that they were not going to let him beat us. And I feel like we need to have the same approach with Acosta, and we are not going to be able to. So the key for Nashville, let Acosta get loose. Have those beautiful passes that we were watching. He does great passes going this way, going that way. We don't know where it's going, and all of a sudden they have a nice inside the box shot. And that was something that I kept noticing with him. So we need to stick him with Arroyos. We need to have a nice team defense on him, because if he gets going, they're going to get going.
Yeah, my guy, I already alluded to it earlier. I'm going with Robert Taylor. I think he needs to have a bounce back game. He was way too quiet last game. He made bonehead decisions at times. We need him to have a good game. We need him to help Messi up front. I'm not convinced with Martinez. He had that good game two matches ago, and then the last one he just kind of sat down and didn't do anything. So I think we really need Robert Taylor to step up in the attack, take some pressure off of Messi, and who knows, maybe he gets an assist from Messi and he could slam in a goal.
My eyes are squarely on Busquets this game. I think when we first started playing, Busquets was getting a lot more attention about his beautiful passing and things like that, and all the space he was receiving. And I think every game since then, he's been dealing with a little more tighter windows, and he's been feeling a lot more heat. Mm-hmm. I think he needs to be a little more impactful than he has maybe the last couple of games. And I'm looking for him to be more impactful, and I expect it. And especially with the strength that Cincinnati has up the middle, I really want to see Busquets take a little more command of the game.
Yeah, so
I'm interested to see if. Sorry, Jose, go.
No, I agree with David. Like, I don't think he's done very well with the press that people have been doing on him. And I'm a Busquets stan, right? Like, but it's one of those things where when he's on. But when they're marking him, it's almost like when they put a little bit of elbow on him, he falls. Like the other day, he was literally with the ball, like pressing LT in FIFA and just like trying to hold on to the ball, and one of those things that like he just got shoved and he
it's a
fell
little
flat on his
LeBron.
face, and it's like, what's
It's a
happening?
little LeBron versus JJ Barea, and I don't want to see that. I want to see him impose
Yeah,
his will. Yeah.
he's our midfielder. Like we need him to hold the ball.
So yeah, speaking of Busquets, like Jose said, I'm interested to see if they're going to be marking him again. 'Cause it seems like that's a strategy that a lot of teams have been playing, and it's worked to an extent, right? Also interested to see their defenseman, the Obi Wabodo. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I did not say that right. But he's very aggressive. He's very well known for getting a lot of yellow cards. So Busquets has been going after these guys and getting some key fouls every now and then. So I'm interested to see if he could draw that yellow card from Obi and who knows, maybe slow him down a little bit because he is a very good defender for them.
So since Dave went with one of the big three, after I specifically said who outside of the big three are we looking at, I'll come with two. I'm looking forward to seeing Yedlin have an impact on this game. It seems like the more we play and teams sort of try to game plan against us, it seems like people are forcing us towards Yedlin's side. So I'm interested to see Yedlin put his handprints all over this match, get up, provide some crosses.
Handball. We don't want that.
You're right. His toe prints. I would like his toe prints all over this match. But I'm interested to see him get up, maybe cause some havoc. Messi at times kind of tucks in towards the center of the field, leaving a lot of space out wide. And hopefully Busquets can turn and find him in a lot of space. And then I'm also I'm interested to see how Calendar continues. He's been good all season. He's really picked up his form through the Leagues Cup, and I'm hoping that he keeps it up. Cincinnati has some really good attackers: Acosta, Bupenza, Vasquez, all very capable attackers. I think there's going to be some very dangerous moments in this game. So I want to see Drake Callender keeping up his good form and continuing to make good save after good save, make the saves that he's expected to make, and then give us, one or two fantastic plays that sort of, relieve some pressure that's happening. Because at times it does seem that we get a little fatigued. If we go up early, maybe we take our foot off the pedal a little bit too much, or if it's a tight game, we might need him to bail us out just like he did against Nashville. So those are my two players to watch as we kind of head into this match.
And I feel hard pressed to not mention the loss for Cincinnati of Brenner Silva. I know that he was a very young Brazilian that was being impactful for the team, and I know that there was a lot of hype for him in Cincinnati, and I know he went to Serie A. It wasn't Cagliari, it was Udinese.
Yeah, it was Udinese.
Yeah, so I know he's gone, and I know they had a lot of success with him on the club. So let's see if Cincinnati has the teeth to withstand his loss. Obviously, Columbus didn't go well, but let's see if that becomes the trend after they lost Brenner.
Let me tell you, Julio, I'm really happy you mentioned Calendar because if no one mentioned him, I was actually gonna say something about that. With the way he's played throughout that tournament is just incredible. So
he's creeping up behind Campana into like my favorite player, not named Messi right now. He's creeping up because everything he does is spectacular.
You're jumping off that Campana belt, off the boat. So
no. Campana's number one. Campana's number one.
Look, you're looking for life rafts.
No, because Calendar's so good though. Anyways, let's jump into predictions and let's check the pulse around here. What are we thinking? Who's going to be the cockiest Miami fan of us all?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. All right.
Okay, so you got to start it. You're the quote unquote cockiest.
Let's see what the bar is.
Nah. All right. So I think the good guys are gonna take it home. I think it's gonna come down to PKs. It's gonna be 2-2. I think it's gonna be a great game. But then to be honest, after that, we're just gonna go ahead and run through the US Open Cup tour. What is it? Whatever. It's gonna be another one. Another cup that we're gonna raise, and Yeah, and then we're off to an NYCFC, another barn burner for us. Yeah.
New York Red Bull,
Yeah. Who do we play? Yeah.
the other New York team. Exactly.
They both suck. They both suck.
Line them up, knock them down.
Line them up, knock them down. They both suck.
God.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with a 3-2 Miami win. Like I said earlier, I think Robert Taylor picks it up. He gets 1 goal. Messi gets the other 2. Messi's for sure gonna get 1. We all know that, right? But I think he gets 2 this game just because he's pissed off. He only got 1 last game. They only scored 1 goal all game. So he gets 2. Robert Taylor gets 1. Miami wins 3-2.
I'm going with the 4-0 Messi hat trick.
It's bound to happen.
Wow.
Yeah, soon.
If you say it every time, it's gonna happen. So
That's right.
Happen eventually, right?
This is the first time I predict 4-0 Messi hat trick. So this is the first.
That's true. You usually have the decency to give the other team 1.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to be called the Cincinnati homer, so I have to.
We all think you're kind of a Cincinnati fan.
It's true. You are wearing blue.
Closet
It's curious.
Cincinnati fan.
It's curious. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Turn that hat
go.
around. What's in that hat?
I'm gonna go with a 3-1 victory. I do think Cincinnati has some good pieces in attack where they get 1 past calendar, barely. Might even be an own goal. Might be the only way to beat them. I do think Yedlin has his toe prints all over this match, and I do think he nabs at least 1 assist. And I'm gonna go with one of our center midfielders getting a goal, whether it be Kramaski, maybe Busquets gets on the end of a corner, since we don't have that many threats on corners, and we also don't take many corners. But I'm gonna go with something just a little different, especially since Chris said Robert Taylor, and I said that last match and that backfired. So maybe one of us will hit this time around.
Man, no Campana? No Campana?
I don't
want to jinx. I don't want to jinx him.
Oh man.
I don't want to jinx
Oh,
him.
he's rats off a ship. I'm telling you.
Campana comes on in the 55th minute and scores by the 70th minute.
Julio's rats off a ship on Campana. Jose's is leaking.
No,
with his
Campana will
is
by the
happening?
end of the season, Campana will be the day in, day out starter for this club. You mark my words.
I'll take.
When?
By the end of the season.
It's so far from now.
Unless he gets hurt. Unless Jose
no,
gets hurt,
it'll be
he's
just in
extremely
time.
popular.
It'll be just in time for the playoffs. How about that?
Just in time for
Okay.
Suarez to come and take his job.
So talking about Campana scoring by the 70th minute, let's do our first goal prediction time. First goal time predictions. What time do we score our first goal? We were
Yeah.
all way off last time, way off by 5 minutes.
11 minutes.
All right, 11 minutes for Jose.
I said Cincinnati is very similar to Nashville. I'm gonna go with 25 minutes.
Go for it, Dave. You got that smirk on your face.
In the 5th minute.
You son of a gun. I was gonna go single digits.
In the 5th minute.
We'll beat him. Let's go. Say 3.
I'm gonna stick with my guns and go single digits. I'm gonna go 8th minute. Go wild. Shut that crowd up. You think you got a home field advantage? Watch this.
Tell them to stick their
Oh.
skyline conies in their mouth and
That's right. Just
Yeah.
get a tummy ache ahead of time.
Yeah.
They haven't invited Messi to their home, so get ready.
Yeah, so it'll be a good
What?
game. It'll be interesting to watch. We'll see if Messi gets invited to anyone's home afterwards, or if he just gets welcomed back to Miami with open arms.
he's always
But-
invited to my home.
This is
Just
true.
Letting that be known.
Let him know, Tata. We know you're listening, as always.
Number 1 fan.
All right, guys. So with that, we look forward to the match on Wednesday against Cincinnati. And as always, join us afterwards with the champagne and pots and pans. And thank you from all the guys here for tuning into the Heron Heads podcast, your first place for all things Inter Miami.